Hello, and welcome back to another episode of It's Just That Simple, a podcast where we make the complicated simple. And I'm feeling very, very yes, I was about to say juvenile, but I was like, no, that's not the word. That's not the word. I feel very joyous today. I feel very relaxed. I feel very swooned into myself. I feel loved. I feel connected. I feel free. This morning I didn't feel like that completely, but but I felt a little disoriented. I've been waking up recently with that I've been learning. This is a new skill that I want to build with a very doom mindset. But it's not like a doom mindset. It's like my subconscious is like really going full throttle. It's taking everything out that didn't really make me feel good. I brought out the worries, the fears, the latent anxieties, the belief systems that lingered into how I naturally choose my every single moment in my directions of how I feel about myself, but also how I live my life. And I thought I was going on this loop for a second because I wasn't aware of why it was so potent. Don't you know sometimes when we live our lives and we go through it and we live with a certain type of habitual system, beliefs, ways of thinking that it kind of feels natural until we learn that we want more and that we heal and that we learn to love ourselves better. We learn to love the world better, learn to love others better. We learn how to coexist in harmony and creation and just compassion and appreciation of ourselves and the world. And when that happens, things get a little bit polarized. It gets a duality mindset a little bit. It's a black and white picture or feeling. It's a fine line between this is how I feel, but what am I feeling? I feel like I've been creating balance, doing this due diligence towards myself, and I feel something that it doesn't feel like that shit. It really doesn't. And I've learned that releasing, relaxing, and kind of like recoiling what makes me my way, what has made me me. And that's the most important thing. What has been making me me? What have been like the tried and true belief systems, lessons, feelings, mindsets, reactional thoughts that I had in my head? Said something happens in the world, I think something. Something happens within myself or within people around me, I feel something. But from where? And I've been navigating and understanding my 12th house for people that understand astrology. But what the 12th house does, it goes into the subconscious. But also I realize it entangled with my wounds. The wound of, personally for me, being afraid of my emotional depth, my vulnerability, my intimacy, afraid of being mistreated, underappreciated, manipulated, not loved or seen the way I want to be seen by myself or by, myself. So I was like, that kind of sounded weird, but it was actually on point a little bit. And everything just started like seeping out. I'm just like, what the fuck? What the fuck? What's going on? And one of the things, of many things that I've been understanding in the past couple days, in the past couple days, but it felt like a week, but I think it was last week that it started, is that no one needs me. It's like, oh. Let's sit with that line. No one needs me. No one needs me? Okay, so what does that mean? No one needs me. No one needs me. And like I said in the last episode, with my Quran in Libra, that was a epiphany and a dagger to my heart. A oh wow, a release. And also just like, so what does that mean? What does that mean? Where I lie in my life, where I lie in places or placements in other people's lives. And I think with this big energy that's going on fully, if people, again, if you're aware of astrology, that the north nodes in necessarily in the collective, in humanity, in the energy shifts is Aries. It was like Aries in the north node and Libra in the south node. And it's a lot of things of we're leaving kind of this, it's this beautiful balance between knowing how not to fall into the underbellies of Libra, which goes into people pleasing, compromising, fading away, dismantling ourselves to try to keep harmony, other than standing in our place asking for what can we coexist and co-create to balance and create harmony. Not diminishing ourselves, but allowing ourselves to say, we're here, we're aware of what we want, but how can we move in life with initiation for freeness and balance and trust that we can co-create that within our lives, but also within the world. And that line of no one needs me, it kind of, it was like a little cheer in my head. Don't you know when you've been under obligation for so long and then someone alleviates you from that sense of duty, that sense of obligation, that sense of responsibility? It's just like, yay, I'm free, bitch. I don't have to do this anymore. I get to just play and be myself, be in me, because no one needs me to be what they need me to be. Let's say that again. No one needs me to be what I think I need to be for them. And that was a little juicy one. It was really juicy, because the overall thinking of feeling that no one needs you brings on a really big magnifier of, then who needs me? Who needs me? I had a conversation with my beautiful aunt months ago. I can say last year because it was last year, months ago. And we were having a wonderful conversation. She was listening to my podcast. She said that, oh, you just like, I just love it. And It was beautiful appreciation, admiration, and love, and vulnerability, and intimacy within the conversation. And then she asked me, what are your needs? It was like, what are your needs? And as well was, what do you need to feel loved? And at the time, it was a battling, but it wasn't a battling. It was like I was on a rocky boat. One that was on the shore and one that was in water. The things that made me feel stable and grounded, but also the things that made me feel a little bit unknown and don't know if I can find balance here. The things that made me feel stable and balanced, or not even balanced, but grounded in some sense, was what I knew. I guess that my needs to be loved is maybe, and what I remember saying, I was like, I don't like putting those expectations on people. I don't like putting those expectations on people. So, and it was this sense of just like, so, but what am I saying? I don't know what I need to feel loved by me. Is then it goes into the water. That part of the boat that's on the ground, that's on the shore, and the other part that's in the water. And I was in the water and I was just like, but then how do I love me? That was a grasp of uncertainty. Because I have not inquired or did an inquiry within myself to say, what do I need to feel loved by me? But not even just me, others, but I need to know how to love myself first. it stirred up this thing. And I remember having that conversation. I remember talking for at least 10 minutes trying to decipher what it was just like. So I'm still figuring that out, but I don't know. But I do know. I feel like if I'm not placing in the sense, and I had to do that, I had to do it mentally, step myself away and be like, if I'm not thinking about other people, well, I guess I like to be embraced, celebrated, to be patient with. All these things kept on coming through, but I couldn't decipher sacrificing or so kind of being so selfless, but in such a selfish way of how I need to love myself into other people's way. I didn't know how that I had to relinquish. I felt like I had to relinquish what the natural desires, the wants, the needs, the things that will make me feel loved, stable, and secure, and safe. I thought those things needed to be relinquished. So do you understand where we're going here? This idea of saying no one needs me, which almost brings tears to my eyes. Don't you know when you have feelings that mean so much of a more meaningful impact and so much of a reverb within your lifetime? You just don't feel it here. You feel it in the future and you feel it in the past. Woes from the past, but inspiration for the future. That no one needs me shook my whole lifetime. It told me it's okay to choose me, and it also told me it's okay to know how to love me, to learn to be loved by me. It took that away from the worry, but it took it into exploration and excavation. Then I remember recording it because my sister told me, she said, Travis, when you have a thought, because I was like, I like to record when I record, meaning my podcast. And when the time that I feel it, she was like, well, Travis, not every single time is going to be the perfect time. Just record it in a voice note and let yourself think about it. So you don't feel like you're confused or jumbling or in the sense of I knowing what I want to say, not feeling like I'm losing myself when I'm just thinking. It was just like, so what was, right before I sit down, so what was I had points, but what were they? Too much in my head. I had points, but what were they? And as I was thinking and as I was saying that to myself, and I recorded in the voice note, it was saying that no one needs me. I need me. I need myself to be strong. I need myself to be myself. I need myself to love myself courageously. I need myself to know what I want so I can be what I want, so that I can just reverberate all the love that I am within life. I need myself to not people please. I need myself to not compromise. I need myself to set boundaries. I need myself to learn more ways to be more compassionate with myself. I need me than anybody else needs me. More than anybody else needs me. I need me more. I need me, so I need to stop being so much in other people's lives. And to give more context of what I mean by that, because a big thing for me, I realized I was so much engrossed into other people's ways of being, mentally, emotionally, physically, that I didn't know how to mind my own business. I did not know how to mind my own business and focus on me. I did not know how to really rest in myself and ground my love of who I am. I did not know what was more meaningful to me, knowing me or knowing more about them. I had to remember to discern and recoil myself back to ask myself, why am I so just, it's embedded into potentially worrying, but also feeling the need to gravitate, to know someone else's needs before my own. Had a burp. I had a delicious egg and bread toast with this delicious kind of like a mix between a goat cheese and apricot. Had little pieces of apricot. It was very delicious, like a morning dessert cheese. And I had to learn how to really understand where what I've learned or chose to believe that I need to leave my needs behind to live in a happy, cohesive life with the world. And with going in those energies, what I talked about in the beginning of the Aries South Node, Aries North Node, Libra South Node energies. The coexisting, the safety, the realizing that no one needs you, but you need you. And by you giving what you need to yourself, you give the world what it needs from you. To be you, to love yourself. And isn't that the most biggest thing of love? The freedom to say, please give what you need to yourself. Everything else will be okay. Especially for the people that are contending but balancing the beauty of living within their lives, but also doing things to create stability in their lives. The things where they say, where do my needs come first? But the needs, they have an umbrella of what needs are. The security, financial security, but also the security of our soul, to keep that intact, to keep that loved and flourished and balanced, to keep that blooming and blossoming without the feeling of that the needs are battling within itself, attacking itself. The body of what makes you feel at home feels like it's kind of having an argument. But your needs are this and this and this and this and this and this, and understanding those needs within self, realizing that you can feel free and loved in your needs, especially when you're deciding or trying to understand and learn and be open with the awareness to get to know what your needs are with no pressure, but just preparation and stillness and love, that it can be equally acknowledged, safe in, that you can just breathe in with the purpose of understanding that you do not have to be a person that doesn't need to know. I had two thoughts there. The one thought was that doesn't need to know themselves to basically get to where they're going, but it's kind of, do you get what I'm saying? It's like that feeling. It was like you don't need to know everything about you to get to where you're going, but you need to start. It just needs to be, just inquire about it. You don't need the bigger picture, but you have to inquire. You have to look at some of it. You don't need to know every single piece, but you do have to try to seek a piece of yourself. A piece that wants more of you. That knows that as you are living your days and you're understanding your needs will get more complex. They will get more brilliant in color and vibrancy. And they will start to match the world. And even if it does not do that right away, understand that you know what you need to be balanced, loved, and just celebrated for yourself, for you, but also how that's going to match in the world at some point. Moment by moment, as you create it, you ask for it, because once you know your needs, you can know how to ask for it into life. You must know yourself to know what you want. You must know your needs to know what you need within life. I thought this was going to be like a little 15-minute episode, but I think we went into 20. I feel so revved up. I feel so relaxed. I feel so... I think renewed. I would say nude, but I was like, I don't know if that's a word, but there's a word today. Always got complicated. It got confused when it's just like, oh, that's not a word. But I was like, we just make up words as we go. Shit a little, you know. That's a new word. Shit a little. It's one word. And if you say it fast, like shit a little. Shit a little. It's a good word. I love you. Thank you for listening. And remember to recoil yourself back. Ingrain yourself in your own garden. Lie there for a second and ask yourself, what do you need to be nurtured, to bring nutrients to you, and to know how to breathe in growth. Bring your roots down. It doesn't have to be quick, but slowly and gradually understand what you need to bloom. Thank you for listening. Until next time.